Have you ever been interested in Stalker lore, in how Strelok got into the zone, in what happened before Shadow of Chernobyl? If yes, accept my condolences, because this story mode about 15 years ago destroyed quite a few naive souls who decided that Stalker was something cool, atmospheric and fun.
First time.
Today, I willingly dive into a vat of urine into the legendary classics of Stalker story mods to show you how the zone breaks a person who decides to dig into the lore deeper than they ever should have. Blowing the dust of this folio of concentrated Stalker thought, we head into a new game on Master difficulty. By the way, if any of you have ever beat this game on back difficulty, please let me know in the comments. After which we are immediately thrown into a blender. Then, before our eyes appears the same familiar drunk who greets us with a simple "hello". The situation is more than strange, so first we ask if he can tell us something interesting, and then what the hell is going on. We get a counter question, but all we remember that my brother, my buddies and I came to the zone on a guided tour to play paintball. Then something terrifying and powerful went off, and now I am here. The old man gets visibly irritated by this flood of nonsense, says that no tours have been coming here for 3 years, and raises his gun at me. We beg him to believe us and even explain how much we paid the guide. 2,000 kopecks. What? Yes, translation in this mod has a complicated relationship with reality, but I have to admit, it adds an agreeable sense of the macabre to the Stalker delirium. So yeah, 3 years have passed. Where I was this whole time is a complete mystery, and the forester decides the best course of action is to drag me to his cottage deep in the woods. Oh, is that the legendary dynamic lighting? Damn, is that a Volkswagen? Are we driving it? Come on, old fart, help me push it. Jesus Christ, are you done already? Let's move. Turns out the old man wasn't lying, he's got an actual mansion out here. Interior design clearly is not his priority. The single most important decorative element is a bottle of vodka, I suppose. Although, judging by the absolute banger blasting from his radio, vodka might not be his weapon of choice. This feels more like a Bourbon household. Damn, do you actually have a taste, Monseigneur? Suddenly, the old bastard remembers that 3 years ago he found my brother, a carbon copy of me. They hang out for a bit, after which my brother joined the very first Stalkers and walked off in a random direction, guided exclusively by vibes. As kids, we gave ourselves nicknames. He's Captain, I am Strelok. Naturally, we came up with them ourselves, right after the entire school spent years beating the shit out of us, and that's the name we are supposed to look for. We should probably thank the old fart for saving me, so he asked us to find somewhere in this forest a mandrake root. God help us. He hands over a solid shotgun, some shells, and sends us off, warning that the root is straight out of Harry Potter and will start screaming the second we pull it out. On the way through this lone, empty map, we run into boars and pigs in quantities that feel personal. 1 shot per animal, and then we rip out their eyes and hooves, strictly one of each. By the time we reach the swamp with the root, we are out of ammo. Fortunately, the remaining flashes take one look at the knife in my hand and decide today is not the day. It screams. The carrot screams so hard it summons another squad of steroid-injected boars, and I immediately choose the ancient stalker tactic of running away at maximum speed. We hand the root to the old man and ask, Forrester, why are you so grim? Turns out an ecologist was supposed to come here. In exchange for the route, he was meant to bring medicine and food, but he got himself into some kind of shit and is now hiding in a nearby cave, too afraid to stick his nose out. Of course, we go to save him. Barely squeezing under a rock, we end up in a cave filled with dynamite. There we find Vasiliev, who greets us with a hello. He can't tell us anything interesting either, but the moment you say, well, hello Vasiliev, the guy immediately starts getting nervous. We tell him that I'm here to help and watch all our hopes for further progress dissolve like a fart in the wind. Oh, come on. By a divine miracle or satanic ritual, we somehow managed to set Vasiliev on the right path. Now, we need to casually walk to the bunker at Yantar and get all the necessary supplies for the Forester from Professor Sakharov. On the way, of course, we pick up artifacts lying around anomalies. One of them bounced off and smacked me straight in the face. And all of this happens to the accompaniment of the Spanish Caravan by the Doors, cranked to full volume until my ears are ringing, with no way to turn it down. Even the music settings in the menu do nothing. The transition to Yantar from this location feels like a transition to another dimension. First we have to wade neck deep into a swamp, fall into a hole there that teleports us to Yantar, and then we drop out of the fucking sky straight into the middle of another swamp, shot by a crowd of zombies from all sides, while snork leap at you like fish in an aquarium during feeding time. Hilarious. After shooting our way out, we go talk to Vasiliev. He says that before we can speak to Sakharov, we need to talk to a certain Dan, who is in charge of security here. Holy shit, buddy, are you okay? Looks like your nose is bleeding. This is your room? You live here? Here, take these duty suits. Hope they help. We talk to Dan, politely decline his offer to join his faction and move on to the professor. Are you planning to move today, you old fuck? Who practically begs me to accept the reward and hands me an impressive sum of 2,000 rubles. We also remember to ask him about our brother. Professor Sakharov vaguely remembers someone going by the name Captain. According to him, that individual got heavily messed up on something heavy and, a couple of years ago, tried to brute force his way toward the sarcophagus. Sakharov also passes along medicine and some food for the Forester, all while Ciao Bambino Sorry by Mireille Mathieu is blasting from his radio at speaker destroying volume. We head toward another secret exit leading out of here and... You are too exhausted to walk. Yes, I guess I really am. Relax. On Master difficulty, it's perfectly normal to get erased by a single bullet, just as it is to erase everyone else with one shot. We deliver the supplies to the Forester and then head to the dead city to retrieve a stash of food. At the entrance, we are stopped by a group of large, confident-looking guys from the Wanderers faction. You can actually just walk around them, they seem to be asleep already, but fine. For plot reasons, we decide to talk. After a surprisingly polite greeting, we are immediately warned not to run. So, what are you gonna do about that? We explain why we are here and they lead us to their base to... this. Holy moly, who ordered that piece of cake? I might be the first stalker in history to ever see a woman. Just like everyone else, she greets me with a friendly hello. It seems we are entering a zone populated entirely by polite people with a deep love for French music. The atmosphere of post-Soviet hellscape is delivered with surgical precision. We tell Layla that we are here for the food stash. She informs us that they found it first and maybe we should go fuck ours and maybe we should go to Demon, who conveniently has an important task. Complete it and we'll be rewarded with a few crackers from the Forester's stash. This infernal warrior asks us to clear a 1-5 or 5. I didn't get it. It's 1 5-story building of zombies. In exchange, he promises a rifle and a new suit. No need to ask twice. After evicting the residents, who looks suspiciously like my neighbors, we collect the reward and return to Layla for food and information about my brother. We are told that a man named Greek knows something, but he's currently out on a mission. Once he comes back, we'll be notified. We then tell the Forester everything what happened, especially mentioning Layla. A stern but beautiful woman. I'm hoping some kind of romance subplot is forming. Someone has to maintain the stalker population after all. The old bastard naturally reminds us that he is starving and offers a job. The same mandrake roots which scientists pay 15 grand a piece for. He tells us where to find them. The same swamp that once led to Yantar, now home to a cave that somehow doesn't float, despite being directly underwater. The zone is a miraculous place. Even more miraculous is the fact that the forester explicitly tells us not to bring the roots to the scientist, but to sell them to him instead. He claims he already has the money. Something tells me the old fuck is trying to scam me and that these roots are worth way more, but whatever, money barely matters here anyway, so we agree and head to the desktop. First thing we do is collect all the artifacts generously scattered around the swamp. Yes kids, this is exactly what artifact hunting looked like back in Shadow of Chernobyl. Veterans may enjoy a little nostalgia. Then we fall straight down through the water, where we're greeted by snot-colored dogs, poltergeists, and a blind controller. After ripping out all the roots, we sprint back to the forester, collect our honestly earned 45k, and head to our Valkyrie, who inform us that Greek is already here. On the way, we kill another controller who clearly got lost in the forest, then fly on wings of love toward Layla, and immediately get hit with a cold shower. Hello, sister. Don't get smart with me, Strelok. Do I look like your sister? No, you look like my future wife. It's painfully obvious that Strelok is being treated like a complete idiot, because even now he's been sent on the runs. Specifically, in this city of the dead, there's some teenage trash hanging around and harassing the faction. And of course, we are the only ones who can deal with it. The guys were impressed by my diplomatic skills and fucked off as far away as possible. With the boss lady's blessing, we go talk to Greek and learn everything we need about my brother. Namely, his colleague, a guide, helped Captain and his group get to Pripyat, and no one has seen them since. The guide himself later died from radiation exposure. Going there is a death wish. About 6 months ago, reports started coming in about some kind of half-zombie, half-human creatures, and in general, the place turned into pure horror. Greek is even happy to show us the passage to Pripyat, but only after we bring him 10 dog tails. Jesus fucking Christ. After swapping our cool armor and rifle with the local hobos, we move through a secret passage into Pripyat. Judging by the visual effects, I somehow end up inside a drainage pipe, from which I'm immediately flushed into yet another bath, straight to yet another questionable individual who politely greets us. It turns out we fell into something called the crater, and this gentleman kindly pulled us out. And of course, Strelok loses his memory again. It's basically a personality trait at this point, consistent across every S.T.A.L.K.E.R game, forgetting what he knew and remembering what he forgot. All our gear is gone and our rescuer turns out to be a monolith soldier, collecting lost souls abandoned under fences. If I pass the trials, I will be welcomed as a proud soldier of Monolith. By the way, this entire conversation takes place while 3 bloodsuckers are casually orbiting our bus. Strelok naturally agrees without hesitation. We are handed a named weapon, a box of ammo, and sent off to kill 5 or 6 snorks. After removing the left leg from each one, 5 or 6 legs total, we return them to Merwin, who has clearly already figured us out. No better fighter exists. From there, we head with him to the monolith base in the sarcophagus, where he thanks us. And here we are, in the sarcophagus. For the first time in a long while, we are not exterminating everything alive here, but cooperating with it. Specifically with someone named Charon, who greets us in a nasal voice.
Теперь ты с нами, да пребудет с тобой сила Монолита.
Welcomes us into the ranks of Monolith and then says, hello. He also informs us about 5 or 6 bearers on the floor below, creatures that apparently had caused absolutely no problems until this very moment, patiently waiting for me to show up and deal with them. And oh yes, they were waiting for me. After several attempts, we clear Mori of the gnomes, and now we need to find the decoder those little bastards stole. But after crawling through every inch of the place and finding literally everything except the decoder, I come to an unfortunate conclusion. Obviously, while these little shits were playing with telekinesis, they might have, as often happens, thrown the decoder straight into hell itself, far beyond the player's reach. After roughly 2 hours of searching everything, even in free camera mode, which itself is controlled through sheer suffering, I almost accept defeat. I couldn't find it anywhere. Console commands didn't work either. But, as it turns out, I am a retard. The decoder was peacefully lying exactly where it's supposed to be, on a pile of shit. I just didn't see it. Delighted by the realization that several more hours of fascinating gameplay still lie ahead, I hand the decoder to Charon. Yeah, I wasn't really going anywhere. Strelok, now openly fueled by a very noticeable bloodlust, heads north to help his brothers repel the infidels, even though the escape route was clearly designed by people who had absolutely no intention of letting us leave. Somehow we reach the wish ground and make a wish and instantly turn into a liquid Terminator. One of the possible endings of Shadow of Chernobyl, by the way. Except no, in reality we crawl back to the surface, kill a couple of bloodsuckers and run into a man named Solomon, looks about 60, along with his group of religious extremists who are visibly itching to beat the shit out of some stalkers. The old man, however, has clearly outlived his usefulness. His breathing completely collapses within the first second. After effortlessly deleting veteran stalkers and expensive, Jesus fucking Christ. After effortlessly deleting veteran stalkers in expensive exoskeletons, who somehow only need one bullet from a chopped AK, we inexplicably accept a quest to collect 8 snorkel eggs from a local unfortunate and sprint back to K.R. Director, you will again teach me. Okay, I hear and obey. Director, I have brought good news. The fuck is going on? You people over there are probably having a great time. I am the one who has to read this garbage and my head already hurts. Now, we are ordered to clear the monolith control bunker and then report back to Mervyn to continue our sacred training arc. This time, Mervyn lines up a few tasks for us. Each one involves teleporting us into some absolute hole, grabbing manuscripts, and somehow making it back. The first drop puts us on a concrete slab about 10 meters above the ground. Easy. We just fall and our health barely moves. The second time it's not clearly as obvious and I get caught like a complete rookie. Okay, lesson learned. Oh, my favorite weapon. Supplies. After sprinting back to Mervyn, we are sent to K.R. who has a very important job for us. Have something to trade? But we did not trade. Let's trade. Okay. I choose guitar. And I'll give you this guitar. This is for you. Guitar. We are told to meet a feldsher in Pripyat, an assistant to the swamp doctor who shockingly lives in the swamps. He's supposed to give us a bag of medicine, but Monolith has been running on credit for a while now, so the debt suddenly becomes our problem. Payment options? 1 artifact or 10 dog tails. Jesus Christ, leave dogs alone. Trust me, artifacts are easier to get here, so we hand one over. Then we listen as this kid stares straight through us, explaining that we don't look like Monolith at all, and questioning what the hell we are doing among these brainwashed husks. Strelok naturally doesn't understand a word of it, and calmly delivers the package home. Are you gonna let me through, you piece of shit? Immediately after that, K.R. gets a call straight to his fingers. Our guys from Pripyat report that mercenaries have seized the base. Of course, we rush in. When we arrive, everyone's already assembled. Some lunatics are even doing namaz next to a burning trash bin. The leader announces they are the elite of the elite, the inner circle, and their motto is no fear, no mercy, no pain, no brain, no compassion, but plenty of vodka. I'm fairly certain I accidentally joined Freedom. Armed with my sniper PP-19, I mow people down until I start believing I'm immortal, and promptly die several times. The whole thing feels like a Wild West shootout. There's one to spot, the other wins. Eventually, after turning this place into a corpse warehouse, we move on to clear another enemy group near the Lenin statue. Then, something unexpected happens. We get attacked by a chimera. By some divine accident, it doesn't one-shot us, and instead drops after 3 bullets. Obviously, chimeras in this timeline are still early access creatures. It will take years of evolution before they start brutally murdering everything that moves. And now is the perfect moment to continue our training with Mervyn, who is waiting for us in Pripyat, a place where I was literally just fucking in. Feeling my anger rising, K.R. simply teleports me there. Suddenly it is an option, yes? You piece of shit. Mervyn immediately teleports me onto the Ferris wheel, where I'm tasked with collecting yet another stack of sacred toilet paper. I still don't understand what these trials are supposed to teach me, but luckily there aren't many left. The door is locked, stupid. Indeed. Next, I'm teleported into an attic, where I'm traditionally banked from both sides, and then casually finished off by a mercenary shooting me from below. Fucking son of a... All of this unfolds to the sound of aggressively masculine metal stacking on top of itself with every reload, still impossible to turn down. That's the audio experience. I get the feeling the mod's authors were fundamentally opposed to players enjoying this game. After somehow climbing down from the building, nearly slipping into another dimension, we finally begin the final trial. At this point we are full-on Matrix cosplayers, no pills involved, just a demand to jump onto another building and grab the final manuscript. Somehow it actually works, assisted by Black Sabbath Iron Man blasting in the background. Escaping alive, however, is not part of the plan. We are teleported onto a parapet alongside 3 cocksuckers, all shooting me in the head from different angles. The only survival strategy is to instantly jump down, hide behind a bus, and suddenly it is their funeral. And his. S.T.A.L.K.E.R now gives us an extremely important task. Recently, they captured a stalker who infiltrated CNPP territory, and we need to interrogate him. This stalker, just like our brother in faith, suddenly starts speaking English.
Talk, you son of a bitch, or watch my bullet blow your brains out. Guys, please let me go, don't do this. I'll give you money, I'll give you everything. Получи, сука!
As tradition demands, the guy asks us several times not to kill him and explains that he was sent here by someone named Ghost to find underground maps of Pripyat in the control bunker. He has nothing else to tell us, so we let him go and then sprint to the felcher who urgently needs us. The kid either bugged the pills he gave us earlier or he's just got insane intuition. He immediately asks if we'd like to meet Ghost, who conveniently happens to be in Pripyat, captured by mercenaries. No further explanation needed. Rescuing everyone, including enemies, is my sacred duty. This time, however, the task is dialed up to maximum suffering. Move too fast, you get one shot. Move too slow, the prisoner gets executed. Pick your poison. But by some divine glitch, combining both playstyles and binding them together with my raw sex appeal, we wipe the guards and approach Ghost, who greets us with a calm "Hey." After escorting him to safety, we basically learn nothing new, and it's unclear why we even saved him. So we head back to S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who turns out to have also found Ghost. Yeah, no shit. And orders us to kill him. Couldn't you just radio me? I was literally standing next to him 15 minutes ago. Now I have to run back there again. Incredible gameplay. Fucking quest design chef's kiss. The felcher naturally doesn't waste time either and summons me, already fully aware that I've been ordered to kill Ghost. The kid keeps it simple and punches me straight in the face, and suddenly, by some divine miracle, Strelok remembers who he is. Naturally, he instantly forgets about being a monolith soldier and whatever he was doing 5 minutes ago. But Ghost still needs saving, because S.T.A.L.K.E.R decided to double down and set a squad after him. The squad now needs to be cured from monolith disease, 1 bullet per head, preferably on an empty stomach. Ghost, in great spirits and completely unfazed, suggests we should all head to the swamp doctor in the swamps. But unfortunately, every exit from the city is sealed. There is one secret underground route, but to locate it we need the underground maps from the CNPP control bunker. So yes, we are finally allowed to cleanse the sarcophagus of all this filth. Sadly, on the way out, something truly unpleasant happens. Okay, I get it. We wake up to see old familiar Solomon, who for some reason hasn't shot us yet. After I stab him in the face 3 times, he calmly says hello and I respond with "You are who?" As it turns out, it wasn't him who knocked us out, but one of our former brothers, who apparently thought stealing my gear was a perfectly reasonable way to pay off a debt. And these people are supposed to be the bloodthirsty fanatics? Turns out he knows the doctor too, hands us a shotgun, a weapon that will periodically launch us straight to desktop, and becomes a loner. Right on schedule, our former brothers attack, kill the old man, and on one of the corpses I recover my gear. Why they bothered taking it in the first place if I got it back 30 seconds later remains a mystery. And yes, not sure if you noticed, but the double vision effect from the head trauma is now permanently bugged. No console command fixes it. Reloading an earlier save would have been nice, except the game only allows 2 saves total, 1 auto, 1 quick, and both are already corrupted, naturally. So the rest of the game, already a deeply special stalker experience, transforms into a full-on drunk simulator. Here, your 8 legs, you poor fucker. After grabbing the maps, killing the attackers and returning to the sarcophagus, we hit another obstacle that nearly breaks me mentally. The second we enter this passage, we are knocked out, spun like laundry in a centrifuge and killed. And you can't avoid it. This is intentional design, please understand. Once the spinning stops, you have exactly a fraction of a second to shoot the attacker, while hoping he doesn't shoot you first. I tried everything, sidestepping, spraying bullets while spinning like a helicopter, even detonating a red barrel somewhere in blind rage, but never hit the bastard once. I replayed this nightmare 27 times. Eventually, after killing the fucker and unloading all my anger onto his corpse, I reach Ghost, give him the maps, and together with Fang, we head toward the secret passage. We immediately walk into a monolith ambush, and right as we reach the spot, Ghost urgently asks us to come back, because he needs to give us something. Honestly, I'm done. The relentless insanity, the thrilling gameplay, the endless bugs, and now permanent double vision that turns my skull into a splitting lock after 5 minutes, it's all finally murdered any desire to continue this nightmare. Sorry. But if by some completely absurd coincidence you actually enjoyed what was happening on screen, here's the deal. 666 likes and I replay this entire disaster from the beginning and record the continuation. 666. Not one like more, not one like less. Ciao.